What's going on, everyone? Christian Duke, StrengthAddicts.com at the 82nd Annual NGA Cincinnati Natural. I'm here with
Lindsey Pelfrey,
who is all over Instagram all of the time.
Oh, it's Flex and Freckles.
There you go. So tell me about your journey to this stage.
Yeah, so I started prep January 2nd, working with Coach John Harris, Johnny Juice 1, and we knew going in it'd be about like a 17 and a half, 18-week prep. So I've got back-to-back shows. My next weekend, May 11th, at the Kentucky Natural with Josh Miller.
And what's your home gym, just to avoid any confusion?
East Borda off of Blake James. So there's two in Lexington, so the East Borda off of Blake James.
Okay, fantastic. And then you work with Johnny Juice, right? How long have you been working with him for?
So I've been working with him since June 2023.
Okay, and the joke there is that you said you would never compete, right?
Correct.
And what happened? Like, how did you, what happened?
I did a mock prep with him starting in late June, early July through the end of September. Really loved it, loved what he did with me, the way he structured it, all the things. So I decided to give it a go starting in January 2024.
Very cool. And then you take an awful lot of pride in your social media content. Really good music, really good lighting, really good angles. You know, how did that all happen? Was that did that come through bodybuilding, or did you always?
No. So I used to live in Chicago with my husband, and I've always been super into athletics and weightlifting. I was a college soccer player. So one day I was like, I think I want to make a fitness Instagram, and he actually came up with the name Flex and Freckles. So yeah, started it there in Chicago at a gym in Lincoln Park, and then that just slowly grew into what it is today. So almost 50K. So
very cool. And Jared is taking pictures of us in the background. I feel like
it's slightly intimidating.
No, it's cool. It's cool. So tell me, I know that this is a kind of a stupid question, but what's the hardest part of the prep for you? Because for everybody it seems to be different, and everybody probably thinks that you eat, sleep, and breathe bodybuilding, but you're a mom, you're a wife, you got a whole other life besides this. But what's the hardest part for you?
I think the hardest part for me, well, I can give you a time span.
Okay.
The hardest part is right around the 3.5 to 1.5 weeks out, because you're so close yet so far, and some of your hardest workouts are still ahead, and that can be super defeating because you're so depleted, you have no food in you, and the stage still seems so freaking far away. So that's definitely the hardest time span. I think the hardest thing personally for me is just like being able to still be a present, lively, joyful person with my family, my daughter, the things that I love outside of the gym and bodybuilding, while going through a prep. So I think juggling those is the hardest thing, and through 3 preps now, I've been able to kind of manage that better and better each time.
Definitely. I'm only going to ask you 2 more things, I promise.
Okay.
But we did an interview for Strength Addicts, and that was great, and I really appreciate you doing that. But I want to ask you about the actual prep and posting content. A lot of people hide at the beginning of a prep, maybe because they don't really feel so comfortable in their own skin. But you don't do that, and you also don't hide right before the show. You're always posting.
Yeah. I will say I've been a little quiet today. This is my first show, so I just have a lot of jitters and nerves.
This is your first show ever?
This is my first show ever.
Are you serious?
I do think May 11th I'll have a lot more content and I'll share a lot more, but right now this show is just like getting my feet wet and stepping on stage.
See, that's the crazy part. I would have thought this was like your 10th show, or so. I had no idea. I was like, you've already mentioned it a couple times, and I'm like a dummy. I didn't pick up on that. Okay, and then the final question, you know, again, you didn't intend on competing. What would you say to somebody that's considering competing, a lady especially considering competing, maybe isn't because whatever, the corporate world or stage fright, whatever? What would you say to her?
I would say do a mock prep. I think that's so important. So a mock prep is basically like a trial run. I did my last prep, so it was technically my second prep, my first one with my coach. First off, it lets you know if you really mesh well with your coach, but second off, it lets you know if the things in your life are aligned right now properly for you to be able to execute a full prep, because those dog days are the hardest days, and it's like, are you able to manage all the things that you have on your plate that also matter just as much, and make those right commitments where you can. So that really helped me, was doing a mock prep with Johnny. So I highly advise trying that. I went to 4 weeks out with my first mock prep, and then stopped after that, said this is great, and then knew I would do one again in January 2020.
Wow, that's intense. So you got to actually like 4 weeks. That's crazy.
Literally, I did. Yeah, it was a 16-week prep.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, that sounds like great advice. And then finally, your first and last name one more time, and all your social media links, anything you want to promote, sponsors, gyms, anything.
Yeah, so again, I'm Lindsey Pelfrey. I can be found on Instagram at flex_and_freckles. That's pretty much the only social that I'm on. I'm on Threads, but I don't know if anyone really does any of that.
Yeah, who
My
knows?
coach is Johnny Juice 1, John Harris, out of Cincinnati. He's amazing. Definitely connect with him. My trainer is Richard Sparks with Body Solutions.
He's a
He
good
has
guy.
been amazing
Yeah.
my last 8 weeks of my prep. Posing coach is Sarah Hasner out of Body Solutions, Louisville. And my other posing coach for wellness is Andrea. So those are all my peeps.
You have quite a corner, but very, very awesome. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm thinking it's your 10th show. It's your first show.
First.
Keep killing. It's all about the illusion, right?
Right.
So very best of luck. Thanks so much.
Thank you.